sun is shining bright on Northwest Arkansas. Sixth-ranked Razorbacks looking for a series sweep today in their final regular season home game. They face a very determined and hungry Missouri Tigers team. Hi fans, alongside of Sydney Parlee, I'm Josh Haley. Glad to have you with us this afternoon from Bogle Park. The stakes could not be higher for this Missouri team. They're fighting for their postseason lives.
This is crunch time for Missouri. This game today and the series next weekend against Tennessee could be the difference maker in them getting a regional bid, Josh.
Well, so far in this series, the Razorback bats have really been going, including yesterday.
And Arkansas yesterday caught fire in their final two trips to the plate. It was Reagan Johnson with a 2-for-2 day, just continuing to be that table setter. Brinley Bain, NFCA Freshman of the Year finalist, stepping up at the plate to drive in a run. And Tiana Bell, who has been red hot the last 2 weekends, has been on a tear with a 2-run double. Josh, this Arkansas offense yesterday was on full display.
Yeah, and you partner that with really good starting pitching outings and holding the Tigers to just 4 hits in each of the first 2 ball games. That'll certainly get the job done. Well, in the circle today for the Razorbacks, it'll be Saylor Timmerman. And this is just another youngster who's having a really good freshman year.
And that she has. And for Saylor Timmerman, she has seen a lot of action in SEC play. And what Missouri can expect is they have not seen her this weekend. She's going to work vertically through the zone. She sits in the mid to upper 60s and just has a healthy mixture of pitches that she's able to throw through different levels of the zone.
The lineup for the Tigers, they were able to produce runs early yesterday. They'd love to try to do that again today. Abby Carr moves up a spot in the lineup as her bat has really been going well, including a home run yesterday. Try to get it going for the Tigers. 25 and 26 overall, 7 and 13 in SEC play for Missouri. Well, try to steal a game here on this final day while the Razorbacks are looking for another 40-win season. Would be the 6th under Courtney Deifel. The outfield berms are packed to the gills here today. These Hog fans don't want the regular season home schedule to come to a close, but they're going to be seeing more softball before the end of the year here in this ballpark as we are underway at Timmerman's first pitch. A little bit outside to Addie Waits.
Yeah, Josh, to believe that we're to just one more weekend of SEC play before the SEC tournament. It's just hard to think that the season's gone by this fast.
Strike right there on the upper outside corner from Timmerman. 21st appearance, just her 9th start. But an 8-1 record and a sub-3 ERA in this ever so tough SEC grind. Timmerman thought she had strike 2 there, but Addie Waits, you know, for a freshman, can't be an easy spot to be in, the leadoff, but has handled it with composure. One hop and right on the bag, Tiana Bell for out number 1, and a good start for Saylor Timmerman.
And for Saylor Timmerman, Missouri can expect her to stay through the zone. She doesn't really expand the zone necessarily. She allows the spin of her pitches to do the work. And going back to Addie Waits, her last walk tied her for 7th in the single season history for Missouri in walks.
That one gets away from Miller. Tiana Bell, Carly Davison, Natalia Rio, and Ella McDowell around the diamond for Arkansas, the usual infield. Outfield looks a little bit different as this one is skied up into straightaway center. Reagan Johnson, the anchor out there for 4 years, makes the catch. Kaylee Wyckoff is in left today, and Brinley Bain gets just her 2nd start in right field, Sydney.
Yeah, and we talk about versatility within Brinley Bain. I mean, we'll of course get to the offensive side of things, but she's so versatile, seeing time within the outfield. She's caught a few games within the season. Definitely the total package. And talking about Reagan Johnson being the anchor in center field, I mean, Josh, the play that she made on Friday, the diving catch in the left center field gap, the amount of ground that she covers and the speed that she has isn't just on the base path.
Unparalleled. Courtney Deifel has talked about that and her time here. It's gone by quickly, much quicker than Arkansas would like, but they're still hoping the best is yet to come for the program's all-time hits leader. Stefania Abriscato at the plate, 1 of 6 for the series for the Tiger catcher. Popped up to the right side. Carly Davison's got it tracked, makes the catch, and it's a 1-2-3 first for Sailor Timmerman and the Razorbacks. We'll tell you about their lineup when we come back. Back at Bogle Park as we move into the bottom of the first inning. And the starter for Missouri today, Marissa McCann, has logged a lot of valuable innings this year.
And that she has, and for Marissa McCann, she's usually that second-day starter, but Arkansas saw her game 1 on Friday, had 4 earned runs on 6 hits, an Arkansas offense that doesn't strike out a lot. She had 1 K. She's going to work down in the zone, allowing her defense to work back behind her, and for McCann, her off-speed pitch is the key.
There's the lineup for the 6th-ranked Razorbacks. Still without Dakota Kennedy, but they expect to have her back sooner rather than later. And it's grounded to short and taken care of by Madison Updegrove. And this Missouri team that's fielding it this year at a whopping 988. It's Abby Hay at first, Sophie Smith at second, Updegrove, who just made the play at short, and Addie Waits at third base. Stefania Abriscato behind the plate.
Yeah, Josh, and to talk about Missouri, you know, offensively just trying to scratch to drive in some runs. Defensively, on the other side of things, leading the nation in the fielding percentage you just mentioned, and going into the weekend, only 16 errors committed. Some solid defense behind the pitching staff.
Bain works ahead, 2-0. Lyndon Baptiste calling balls and strikes today. Chad Steers at first, and Robert Pinnicoff, your third base umpire. That's in for a strike. Five complete game shutouts on the year for Marissa McCann.
And something interesting here defensively, the shift, there's a little bit of a shift with Addie Waits over there at third base, playing more in the 5-6 hole, as Brindley Bain does have the ability to drive the ball opposite field, trying to eliminate her driving the ball through the 5-6 hole.
This ball is well hit to the gap in right center, and it's off the wall. Bain headed for second. The throw in, not in time. Sliding in safe for the one-out double. Her team leading 16th two-base hit of the year.
And the doubles queen on full display for Brinley Bain. This is an off-speed pitch that is McCann's bread and butter. She stays back on her backside, keeps her hands back, lets it travel deep, and then just drives it off the center field wall. And Kaylee Linger out there in center field was definitely shaded in for Brinley Bain. I mean, just the consistency that she has, Josh, at the plate, but the ability to adjust to different speeds of pitches is just another added element to the success that she has offensively.
Linger did well to get that ball back in quickly. It was a really close play at second base. McDowell going the opposite direction. This falls into the gap. Trapped against the ground by Carr. Here comes Bain in to score. McDowell trading places at second base.
And for Ella McDowell, this pitch is on her hands, and she has just enough strength to get it over Sophie Smith, landing in that triangle between right center and second base. And Brinley Bain, with the speed that she has, did a great job of gaining ground between second and third. And for Ella McDowell, heads up base running to be aggressive and take that extra base. And that's one thing about this Arkansas offense, Josh. You know, we talk about the production and numbers, but they are so smart on the base path. They're aggressive. They take extra bases when they see that, you know, a ball kicks away.
It's the kind of stuff that makes a difference come May.
Absolutely, and just gives you more momentum at the plate to keep passing the bat.
RBI number 50 on the year for Ella McDowell.
We talk about her having an All-American year last year as a freshman, and offensively she just got better.
Career RBI 104. That's astounding. Not even done with her second year yet. As Tiana Bell fouls one off.
Talking about someone who has been red hot, that is Tiana Bell. She homered 2 times against Oklahoma last weekend. That was a big series for Arkansas, taking away a win. Program hasn't done it in a lot of years. Homered this past week in the midweek game. And then yesterday she stepped up with that 2 RBI double in the right center field gap.
Two and two now, as the veteran Marissa McCann in the circle. This is career appearance number 96 for her.
Talk about a midweek game. This past week, Missouri played SIUE. It was actually a last-minute game that they added to the schedule. They wanted to get to that 56-game schedule. She's the 13th Tiger in program history to throw a perfect game with 7 innings pitched, 0 runners, of course, 11 Ks. That was a huge moment in time for McCann. Definitely a momentum shifter coming off of the weekend against South Carolina.
Bell fouls this back. Staying alive here, just spoiling good pitches.
I was just about to say that, Josh. That's another thing that makes Tiana Bell so good at the plate, is pitches that are borderline, especially in a 3-2 count, just fouls them off, forcing the pitcher to bring it back in the strike zone.
That one angles foul.
I will say Marissa McCann in this at-bat against Tiana Bell has done a great job with her arm side drop ball, getting it in on Tiana Bell. It's one thing that Coach Larissa Anderson talked about before the weekend is, you know, really reiterating to her pitching staff to command the ball in the inner half to both righties and lefties.
Popped up, drifting foul down the right field line, and a basket catch made out there in right field by Sydney Forrester. You talked about the base running, though, Sydney. Ella McDowell able to take third on that play.
And for Ella McDowell, tagging and advancing, the second that she saw the ball was in foul territory, she tagged. It's what you have to do as a base runner. But for Sydney Forrester, I mean, she was shaded towards the right center field gap and just ran a long way to secure an out.
Talia Rio going to try to get the job done with 2 outs. Rio is hitting a whopping .429 with 2 outs this year. Talk about scoreboard pressure. She knows how to hit in these situations. That's somebody you look at too. You know, last year as a junior went 9 for 10 in the regional. So that's somebody that, as Arkansas is trying to reach the Women's College World Series for the first time, that's somebody that you know is going to get the job done for you in those clutch games.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, with Italia Rio, just a fierce competitor, and you're right, Josh, stepping up in that postseason play as Arkansas makes a push and will, you know, have to host that regional bid. But for Italia Rio, where she's been in the lineup and the consistency that she has to step up in those big moments, and like you said, with 2 outs on the board, she comes in clutch more times than not. And so much poise in the box. You know, to me, she's a fierce competitor, but also a silent player.
All even at 2s. Pitch. Fouled off the hands.
And for Italia Rio, we've talked about it before, but her dominance at the shortstop position, but offensively, that is one area that she has just grown throughout her career, getting better and better every year and becoming a dominant force within this Arkansas lineup.
2-2 down in the dirt. Good block by Abroscato. Rio's bat kind of tapped her on the helmet. Italia saying, hey, I didn't mean to do that. Abroscato saying, I know you didn't. Payoff pitch. Rio able to calmly take it for ball 4.
For Talia Rio, that is such a tough take. Being in a full count, not far off of the plate, pitched by Marissa McCann. I mean, that is a competitive pitch. It's one thing about this Arkansas offense is even just about a half a ball off the plate, the consistency that they have to hold back and to take that pitch.
Sydney, they've forced McCann to throw 26 pitches in this first inning.
Right, and that's what this offense does, and the more information gained, they saw her on Friday. And it just comes down to the ability that they have to see ball to strike. Every hitter that stepped up to the plate so far outside of Reagan Johnson and Brinley Bain, the past 3 hitters have taken it to a full count.
Wyckoff celebrating her senior day today. Like how the Razorbacks do this, they sprinkle the senior days throughout the course of the season. That way you don't have just the flood of emotions of a whole bunch of players on one day at the ballpark. And they all get to enjoy their own special day, and that was today for Kaylee Wyckoff.
No, I agree with you, Josh, and it just allows each of them to have their own moment with their families and loved ones and to get a photo with the coaching staff, and just to have that celebration individually is for sure something special. We saw a little bit of emotion from Kaylee Wyckoff and had her family out there, her dogs, her boyfriend. Played the electric guitar for the national anthem.
It was awesome, too.
It was sweet.
3-1 is in there for a strike. Fouled off. Third straight batter that's worked the count full. And they are really forcing McCann to battle here in this first inning. Hit well, but in position in left field is Sanaya Hill, makes the catch, and the side retired. Razorbacks get one run on a pair of doubles from Bain and McDowell. Fans enjoying a lot of sunshine on a warm late April afternoon here at the ballpark. And for the former SEC Coach of the Year, Courtney Deifel, her team on the verge of yet another 40-win season, but they've got bigger fish to fry, so the saying goes. And I think reason to believe, Sydney, that this team has got as good of a chance as any to reach the Women's College World Series for the first time.
Absolutely, Josh. And, you know, we talk about over it being Coach Deifel's 11th season, and it was all about establishing that culture, and that culture is maintained. But this team this year, I'm going to go on record and say offensively and with the depth in the circle, the best team that she's had within her time of being head coach as a part of this program. Throughout the duration of the season, just have remained so consistent offensively, what they've done in the circle and defensively. You know, you would have to say the whole entire overview, and as postseason is approaching, all of the pieces, they fired on all cylinders. And sometimes that's hard to do, especially when you face some adversity through SEC play. But this is a team that stayed the course, and that win last weekend against Oklahoma was a huge milestone for the program.
Yeah, and they were on the verge of taking a second game. I mean, that series could have tilted either way. Hard hit, two-hopper to the shortstop. Rio, it brings Bell off the bag, but able to get the tag on Abby Hay.
Natalia Rio just gets the read right off the bat with the range up the middle Does a great job of with that drop step and then getting her body around it up the middle, and for Tiana Bell just hanging on to that to place the tag.
First pitch to Sydney Forrester. Hit well, but in position in right field, Brinley Bain there to make the catch. Eighth-year head coach Larissa Anderson. I love the way that she breaks down the game. I mean, it seems like in the times that we've talked to her, I always learn something new and think about a certain element of the game that maybe you don't ever think about before. There's a couple of things this week, but she's got a very special mind for this game, and no reason to be surprised at the success that she's been able to have in past years with Missouri in the SEC. But this is a team this year that, hey, we talked about how well they can field it. They've got some veterans on the pitching staff, like McCann, who's in the circle today. If the offense gets going, this is a team that could do some damage in the postseason.
No, absolutely. And being a young team, offensively, they have all of the pieces to the puzzle. And I agree with you, Josh, on Larissa Anderson. I mean, just the way that she thinks about the game and how deep she goes into her analysis and thought process is so impressive. But one thing that I do love to hear from her is how big she is on leadership and holding her players accountable. That's one thing that she talked about going into this weekend, and where they're kind of at towards the end of the season, is leadership can't be conditional. No matter what adversity is being faced or what you're being faced with individually, it's a part of the game, and you've got to stay consistent no matter the circumstances. That was a big part of her message to the team coming to this weekend against Arkansas.
Yeah, you love to hear that. And she talks about, too, like not letting the failures define you, being able to, you know, pick yourself up and grow and develop. But also, in the same sentiment, you know, you've got to have that leadership in those moments. And it's not okay just for the coaches to be the one to say this is what we have to do in these situations. That's why you wear the face masks right there. Sanaya Hill fouled that one right off of the mask. She's got a smile on her face, appears to be okay, but doesn't hurt to check and make sure.
Well, and good thing that she does have a face mask on. This pitch is up and in. I mean, right at her by Sailor Timmerman, and she gets a piece of it, and where she makes contact, I mean, it just fouls right back into her face mask.
Payoff pitch. Swings and drives one to deep left field, and it's off the top of the wall. Takes a Missouri hop back in. 2-out double for Sanaya Hill.
And off the bat, Josh, I thought that was going to be a big fly by Sanaya Hill. Solid piece of hitting, especially coming off of a pitch that goes right off of your face mask. Talk about gritty. She just digs right in and drives it off the left field wall.
It's her second double of the series. Went 2 for 3 yesterday and had a 2-base hit. So this redshirt freshman starting to get into a groove at the plate. As the shortstop Madison Updegrove fouls off the first pitch.
And that's exactly what Larissa Anderson was talking about going into the weekend, is just wanting someone to step up and to be that spark to set the tone. And it swings like that and at bats like that that are just gritty, that gets the job done.
Just got a piece of it there. Did Updegrove. Opponents are hitting .237 this year against Sailor Timmerman, but she has really done a good job of slamming the door with 2 outs. That opponent average drops by 50 points with 2 outs on the scoreboard. Took an awkward hop back right off the roof above our heads and then back into the seats. Chopped foul.
And I'll tell you, Josh, going off that statistic with Sailor Timmerman, you know, she's a competitor. And you talk about with 2 outs on the board how she's able to shut the door. I'd have to say it's because of her rise and drop combo that she's able to throw through different planes of the zone, but it's her off-speed pitch, and when it's on, it's on.
Pitch runs inside. Well, Courtney Deifel's always called the off-speed the equalizer. If you've got that one dialed in, look out. That's off her glove. Rio charging up on it, makes the play. One left stranded for Missouri in the top of the second inning. Razorbacks lead it 1-0.
This SEC tournament is officially underway.
Crushes one. Smash this. Throw the bat. And the drama continues.
It's going to be a good one, and we're not far off. Just 1 week remains in the regular season.
I don't know about you, Josh, but I get pretty excited when it comes SEC tournament time and postseason play.
That's a great preview to see. You know, for so many SEC teams, they're already locked into a regional, but it doesn't take away, as you well know, it doesn't take away from the desire to want to go and win that SEC tournament.
No, absolutely. And I mean, you're battling it out to, you know, of course, competing for the regular season title is great, but to go to the SEC tournament and fight it out into the end and take away a SEC tournament victory, there's something different about that. One thing that I've noticed between Friday's game against McCann for Arkansas offensively and today, they had great offensive production on Friday, but today they're standing a little bit more in the back of the box, and I'm going to say that's an attribute to just having more time, buying time on McCann's off-speed pitch and drop ball. We saw it in Brinley Baines at bat last inning.
They forced her to throw 33 pitches in that first inning.
And by making that adjustment, being in the back of the box against a pitcher that's heavy on the off-speed pitch and drop ball, it allows you to gain more time of seeing the off-speed pitch and the drop ball with the downward break and to see it ball to strike.
Carly Davison takes the free pass. Second walk the Hogs have drawn off McCann this afternoon. Miller, first pitch, able to sacrifice Davison over to second base.
And this is one thing that Arkansas has done really well this season. You know, it's manufacturing runs, finding different ways to drive in runs. And for Kennedy Miller, that sac bunt pushed toward the right side of the field. It's perfectly placed.
Cam Harrison, the DP, batting at the bottom of the order.
We've seen a little bit of a mix-up this weekend with Dakota Kennedy being out in left field. We've been told that it's just a day-to-day type thing. But we've seen differences in the lineup with Ramsey Walker in right field. Today, Cam Harrison within the lineup, and that's one thing to speak to Arkansas is the depth that they have on the bench. You know, yeah, you hate to see a player like Dakota Kennedy out dealing with something, but the depth that they have to be able to plug in players that can step up at any time and have competitive at-bats and make defensive plays. It's one thing that, in my mind, the way that Arkansas has grown is adding more depth to positions.
Give some valuable plate appearances here to Harrison. Only 21 at-bats on the year, and they've used her in a pinch hit role on multiple occasions as well, which you always have to be impressed with how well the Razorback pinch hitters are able to perform. Such a difficult thing to do, but in years past, and this year no exception, multiple players that have been able to step in. But just getting, I would think, more live pitching this time of year, just going to make you feel that much more comfortable if your number's called to pinch hit in the postseason.
Absolutely, and then as a coaching staff, just knowing that you can call on somebody, and I think that's a very critical element in postseason play. And for Marissa McCann, she's been working the Arkansas offense off the plate, and once she gets ahead in the count, she's going to that arm side drop ball that has such sharp downward break.
Diving stop behind the bag. There's no play, but it saves, at least for the time being, Davison from coming in to score. What an effort. Take a look at this.
And for Missouri's defense, I mean, this is why they are leading the nation defensively. Hanging on to that by Madison Upgrove, a ball up the middle, just an all-out effort to save a run. I mean, that is a difficult play, Josh, that she is backtracking on and laying out right at the perfect time to save that from getting out in the green.
Yeah, those elite fielding teams, they don't just make the sure thing plays or the ones that you're supposed to make, but they go and make exceptional ones like that. It's still a hit, but not of the magnitude that it could have been. And with one out on the board here, they're kind of talking things over of how, as a unit, they want to approach this, because now you're working second time through the lineup. You look at the numbers there. That's absurd. The .988 fielding percentage for both Missouri and Florida. Reagan Johnson. Everybody in, including an outfielder. Off the bag. Forrester, the right fielder who had come in to cover first, said that she brought her foot off the bag a little bit early.
And Reagan Johnson, she has been an RBI machine this weekend for Arkansas, and with 5 defenders in the infield, as you see right here, she gets her barrel around it, a little bit firm of a bunt, and for McCann, I mean, she made a great play coming off the rubber, but with the speed of Reagan Johnson, it just applies that pressure.
So the
first base of off the bag is being challenged by Missouri. This play is under review.
Yeah, and why not, right? This is a spot where you definitely want to. Could mean the difference in you getting out of the inning without any damage.
No, and I agree with you, Josh. I mean, being early in the game, bottom of the second inning, just 1-0 Arkansas, with the way that they so easily catch momentum. Absolutely a play that, you know, you'd want to make a call on. And the ball's there in time, but as we see there, Abby Hay, her back foot comes off of the bag. Right as Reagan Johnson's striking the bag.
Yeah, that's going to be really tough.
And it's just with the speed of Reagan Johnson, Josh, it just rushes that eternal clock. And the ball from McCann, I mean, it was there in time. And I understand Abby Hay, as you see her reach there for the ball, trying to get that extra extension just to make sure that, you know, the ball beats Reagan Johnson is what pulls her off of the bag.
Well, that's a great look at it.
Yeah, that is a very good angle. Well, Josh, now from this angle,
that looks pretty clear cut, right?
it does look more clear cut than the previous. Yeah, right there from that angle, ball's in glove, and her foot looks to be on the bag.
It's one of those, make sure your spikes aren't filed down too much, right? Again, the call on the field, safe at first base. If it stands, the bases are loaded with one out. Was impressed with how quickly McCann got rid of that ball, though.
After review, the call on the field has changed. Runner at first base is out. Missouri retains their challenge. They have 2 challenges remaining.
There you go.
Yeah, Josh, and with that being overturned, we saw it in the last review. But for Abby Hay and throw by McCann, she had the ball with her foot on the bag when the ball struck her glove. It's a good job hanging on to it.
Just your routine 1-9 put out, right? When you got your right fielder in covering against the speedy Reagan Johnson, you got to do whatever it takes in order to get Johnson out.
Yeah, Sydney Forster over in right field with the defensive shift.
But McCann, when she picked that up, I mean, just so quick on the release sidearm. That thing had some zip to it. Brindley Bain going to try to come through now with 2 outs. A double off the top of the wall in right center field, her first time up, and then came in to score what's right now the only run of this ball game. The 1-2. See the pitch count now for McCann. These Razorback hitters have really forced her to battle out there in the circle. Fouled back. I haven't seen a ton of extra base hits in this series, but already each team peppering one off the top of the wall, but with the wind gusting out today, crowd very eager to get their hands on a home run ball in this final regular season home game. Down 2-2. And these are the moments, I think, just as much as any other, you can be impressed with Bain, is being able to work herself back into the counts like this whenever she falls behind and fouling off the pitches that are there and taking the ones that aren't. High chopper, having to hurry. Addie waits, makes the play. Some good defense from Mizzou in the second inning keeps Arkansas off of the scoreboard. The snow cone truck, it's been under a warning a few times this year with home run balls being hit out that way. Something says that might happen before the day is done. But Sydney, we were talking about between the inning, just the defensive ability of Missouri and just how key that was in that inning.
I mean, it was huge. I mean, Madison Upgrove makes a diving play up the middle to keep the ball from the outfield, and Arkansas scoring another run. And for Sydney Forster being in that defensive shift and the throw from McCann, hanging on to that to not allow Reagan Johnson a base hit and be in a moment where Arkansas could catch fire like they did yesterday, it is huge. It's one thing that Larissa Anderson's been talking about, you know, defensively with those kind of plays, then carrying the momentum onto the offensive side.
.891 batting here in this third inning as Sailor Timmerman has been strong so far, allowing the double last inning as the only base runner. Did you feel that's a contested topic, if you will, in softball and baseball? If you know, does that momentum carry over? And I've heard both sides of it. What was it for you? If you made a good defensive play and then you come up to bat individually the next inning, did you feel like there was some carryover?
I do. I feel like there's definitely carryover when you make a play like that and then get in the box. More times than not, having success coming off of a big play like that. And you know, for this Missouri team, they have the pieces. Offensively, they've got the production that can be there. Defensively, leading the nation. I'd say that the defensive plays that they make alleviates the pitching staff a little bit to pitch a little bit more freely. The biggest thing for them offensively is when runners get in scoring position, it's finding a way to drive them in. And you know, it's easier said than done sometimes, Josh, when you feel that sense of kind of pressure and urgency to have to do that.
Good battle here at the plate by Sophie Smith, sophomore out of Klein Oak High School in Spring, Texas. Got her swinging.
For Sailor Timmerman, her first K of the day. She has had a healthy mixture of pitches against Missouri so far with her rise ball, and right there being ahead in the count with that drop ball. And man, Josh, the break that pitch has right in front of the plate. Such sharp downward break. As a hitter, a lot of times that's difficult to drive your backside and get your barrel down to it when it's breaking that late.
Just stayed foul. Off the bat, Kaylee Linger. Just got a piece to stay alive. Timmerman's last start coming in the Auburn series. 4 innings, just 1 hit and an unearned run. But they didn't waste any time kind of giving her that trial by fire, going back to that start at Alabama. Complete game win. Grounded to short. Rio scoops it up. And there's 2 away. But can only imagine what, she was already a confident player. If she didn't have confidence, they wouldn't have put her out there. But can only imagine how much that helped the confidence to say, hey, I can get the job done in a tough SEC road environment.
No, absolutely. Playing in one of the toughest. And Josh, for this Arkansas program being one of the best teams under the belt of Coach Courtney Deifel, to get to that postseason push and to have a push to the College World Series, got to have more arms in the circle. And between Robin Heron, Peyton Burnham, and Sailor Timmerman stepping up in some really big spots, she's going to be critical when it comes to postseason play. So you've got to put her in those situations so she has those pressurous experiences and to capitalize on.
Courtney Deifel said that she kind of felt a connection with her just as they kind of got into conversation and during the recruiting process. Certainly Courtney can relate to the pitchers and the catchers, being a former national champion catcher herself. But appreciates a good mind of a pitcher, and Timmerman's got it as Addie Waits will take the walk. That's her 4th walk of the series.
Fourth walk of the series and 38th walk on the year, Josh. And talk about a player in Abby Carr, a two-way player that has really been dominant on both sides of the diamond in the circle and offensively. I mean, stepping in this year with 11 homers and 40 RBIs going to the weekend.
Courtney Deifel is going to talk to the battery, and Matt Michael, associate head coach, is going to talk to the rest of the infield. As you see the numbers for Abby Carr, and 3 hits in this series, couple of runs driven in as well. She's going to be raining terror on SEC pitchers for a long time to come. Seeing Matt Michael come out there, though, and talk with the infield, I mean, you got to play for him as well as Coach Deifel. Just talking about great softball minds a moment ago.
Oh, absolutely. And you want to talk about a numbers person, but just a mastermind when it comes to the game of softball. During my time of playing for Coach Deifel and Coach Michael, I mean, I just grew exponentially from a mental standpoint, my perspective on the game, the results of why making this decision over this decision defensively.
Sharp grounder right to Carly Davison and makes the play. One left on in the top of the third for Mizzou. Razorbacks in front, 1-0.
Okay, ESPN is now the home of MLB.tv.
So all out-of-market games, live or on demand, plus all your favorite sports on ESPN. We need to tell the people, Carl.
We're doing it right now.
ESPN is now the home of MLB.tv. All out-of-market games, live or on demand, all in one place.
Young softball fans enjoying a nice day at the ballpark.
Getting some dancing in. Josh, it's been a big weekend here in Fayetteville between the softball series against Missouri. Football had their spring game. Justin Moore did a free concert before the spring game for all of the fans.
First pitch, sharp grounder by McDowell. No problem, though, for Sophie Smith.
I mean, that is a shot off of the bat. Just another reason why this Missouri defense leads the nation in fielding percentage. It's a shot that she just stays down on, keeps her body behind the ball.
Tiana Bell takes first pitch strike. A 9-pitch battle that saw 4 foul balls. First time up for Tiana Bell, ended up flying out to foul territory down the right field line. Even if you were retired in an at-bat, if you saw a ton of pitches like that, did you feel like you had a lot more confidence the next time around?
Sure. I mean, the main objective is, yes, you want to get a hit, you want to get on base, but quality at bats, they also mean a lot. I mean, that's your goal when you go up to the plate, is you're trying to see a lot of pitches. Usually the rule of thumb is 8 pitches is a quality at bat. You've seen that. Josh, on the flip side, Marissa McCann, since the first inning, just allowing that RBI double from Ella McDowell, she has kept this Arkansas offense off balance. It's mainly been due to just working both sides of the plate.
That's an attention getter. Thing could have taken a tree limb off over there in left field.
I came off the bat in a hurry.
The Arkansas bullpen looking up like, was that a jet that just flew by?
Last weekend in one of her home runs against Oklahoma, the exit velo was 80 miles an hour.
It's a tough pitch to lay off of, but she did, and it's full.
Tough pitch to lay off of, but a competitive pitch by Marissa McCann. Not utilizing her off-speed pitch that heavily in the beginning of the at-bats. It's been more so when she's been in a neutral or in a count, excuse me.
Close pitch, but just missed the bottom edge. Tiana Bell seeing the ball really well. Third walk issued, a one-out free pass, and Natalia Rio will step to the plate. She walked her first time up.
Josh, this is a little bit of a different approach than I've seen in quite a while. Tiana Bell at first base. We'll see it here in just a second. Squares her body towards the pitcher, more of like a baseball style. As she gets her lead off of first base, I think that's something that we don't just necessarily see.
Is it just a comfort thing, do you feel?
I think it's a comfort thing, but I will say, you know, in the game of softball, so many motions that you make is the flip of your hips. So she's already setting her body in a position to see the ball into the catcher and then have that aggressive first step where she flips her hips. If you think about it, you make that motion defensively in the infield and outfield. And on the base path, with the way that she is right now, ball's put in place, she's flipping her hips and she's taking that aggressive, you know, first step towards second. I think it's from a visual standpoint, but just also probably feels good athletically. Just find that a little bit interesting. You don't necessarily see that lead off in softball.
Rio doesn't have to take it off of her shoulder. So a visit here, and McCann has been really tough today. But it looks like they're going to go to the bullpen here in the bottom of the third inning. Out in front, 1-0, tight ball game. Pressure situation. We'll tell you about the new pitcher when we come back. New pitcher for Missouri is Sierra Harrison. Senior right-hander takes over, Sydney.
Yeah, and the ace in Sierra Harrison, I mean, she is a workhorse for this Missouri offense. She sits in the upper 60s, has a drop, curve, rise, changeup. She attacks hitters more so on the arm side of the plate. For Sierra Harrison, stepping in this moment with runners in scoring position, both issued by walks. This is a situation where Arkansas, more times than not, when free passes are issued, they dig in with gritty at-bats.
Well, you know that the competitor that she is, she wants another crack at this Arkansas team. She shut them out through 4 innings yesterday. Ended up going 4 2/3. before they finally were able to break through in the 5th.
Yeah, and she's had her dose of facing Arkansas back in 2024, not to date too far back, but she had the victory in the SEC tournament against Arkansas. To your point, Josh, having a, this is going to be her moment.
So before the game today, it was Kaylee Wyckoff's moment, her senior day festivities. Look at the setup and the montage there to senior from Katy, Texas. And what a career it's been. Over 200 hits among all the milestones for Wyckoff. This one's popped up right at the edge as the shortstop up to Grove makes the catch. And that's a good start to this outing for Sierra Harrison.
One for Sierra Harrison. That is a huge out right there, issuing the pop-up against Wyckoff. And that's the thing about Sierra Harrison. She's got the velo to back it, but her spin is so tight in the upper part of the zone.
First pitch, Davison lines it into center field. Waved around, sliding in, safe. Ava Carter just sliding in underneath the tag.
And a rip of a ball by Carly Davison right back up the middle where it came from. And for Kaylee Linger out in center field, could not be more of a perfect throw, but for Ava Carter and the speed that she has, she gets under the tag.
This call is under review.
Well, Missouri's already won one challenge today, and this is another spot where, of course, you would challenge it.
And I'll tell you, over the course of this weekend, both coaching staffs have been pretty on point in yesterday's game with the challenges. But man, with that speed of Ava Carter and this ball just being thrown on a dime from center field, definitely a bang-bang play.
Really tough to tell from that angle. I don't think you can on that one.
That is a tough angle, but I'll say for Ava Carter, with the angle that she took on the backside of the plate, pretty smart base running and a slide right there.
Well, now that's interesting. It's hard to tell if her foot, if her heel is it on the ground there, and if so, did it slide across the corner?
Well, that's the angle to utilize right there.
Linger already with 5 outfield assists on the year. We saw her almost have one in the first inning, nearly got Brinley Bain at second base.
You know, and she too last season, Josh, had a perfect fielding percentage in SEC play.
If it's overturned, the inning's over. And some flashy fielding from Missouri will once again slam the door on the Razorbacks with multiple runners on base.
After review, the call on the field is changed. The runner is out. Missouri has 2 challenges remaining.
There you go. A great throw from Kaylee Linger, and Larissa Anderson 2 for 2 on challenges in this ball game. 1-0. Well, for this Missouri Tigers team, trying to find their way in to the NCAA tournament, and they've got the pressure on them here with 4 games remaining in SEC play, including today, but they've also got a non-conference game against Kansas City this week, but it certainly feels like today is a must-win for them because you don't want to go into the final weekend hosting Tennessee, you know, needing to get a sweep or anything of that sort.
No, absolutely, Josh. And, you know, for Larissa Anderson, she is accustomed to 5 NCAA appearances, 2 super regionals. These games are critical for them. I mean, they are down to crunch time to stay in a position to be able to play in the postseason after the SEC tournament. You know, one thing that, you know, I really enjoy about Larissa Anderson, and I say this in a very positive way, and I'm going to say that Coach Courtney Deifel has the same similar attribute, but coaching where you just almost demand excellence and just figuring out and finding a way to get the job done, no matter what that looks like. They are in that position right now of digging in and figuring out and finding a way to get it done no matter what it looks like.
Entering the weekend, Abrascato has been their best hitter in SEC play, hitting just a shade below 300. But an OBP of 371 in SEC games and has homered 4 times. Gets plunked here in the elbow.
I mean, look at the last 2 innings of defensive plays by Missouri. It's the snag up the middle, it's short. Last inning, Kaylee Linger just guns her out at home. These are the moments where it's like, bring it back into the dugout, get in the box. And that hit by pitch right there off of Abrascato is exactly what Missouri wants, getting the leadoff hitter on.
And a pinch run. Courtney Deifel, I'm not sure if she's asking about the lineup card with the pin out or if she's asking about the hit by pitch.
Yeah, your guess right now is as good as mine, Josh. And this ball up and in, gets right off of the elbow guard.
Well, the umpires are going to conference up now, so what do you think? Is there anything there that you could say should constitute as leaning into it?
You know, Josh, just from that first blush right there, look, from that angle, as she's approaching that pitch. Wasn't up and in pitch, clearly. Sometimes a little bit hard timing-wise to turn your back. Stayed pretty firm in the box.
Claire Cahalan will run at first base.
A little bit of an interesting SEC connection. Her cousin, Kinley Cahalan, who got her golden ticket to play professionally, plays at Florida.
Love the process of that, like how special and unforgettable of a moment, not just for the players who get them, but you know, for the entire program whenever those things happen. It happened here last year for Arkansas with Bree Ellis getting a golden ticket.
This season, Dakota Kennedy getting her golden ticket.
Starting a trend there for the Razorbacks here at Bogle Park. Well, the future is bright. First pitch grounded back through by Abby Hay. She said, listen, everybody, with all these changes and the conversations, you've made me wait long enough, so I'm just going to take the first pitch right back up the middle.
Drive it right back up the middle. And for Abby Hay, I mean, 2 homers against Kansas a couple series ago, a homer against South Carolina in Game 1, a home run this past week versus SIUE. Steps up in a big moment right here with a base hit back up the middle.
Change in the circle for the Razorbacks. We'll formally introduce you to the new pitcher when we come back. Peyton Burnham, who's already pitched well in this series, comes on for the Razorbacks.
And Peyton Burnham in Friday's game, she was nails. Her pitching was so deceptive against Missouri on Friday night, going 7 innings, 5 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. For Peyton Burnham, she's going to throw it through different levels of the zone. She's the type of pitcher that she'll get the Ks, but she also allows her defense to work back behind her. Was a complete game shutout effort on Friday here at Bogle Park. Little bit of a switch up on Friday, Josh. Wasn't necessarily expecting to see Peyton or Marissa McCann pitch on Friday.
This ball is well hit to straightaway center, and it's out of here. 3-run bomb from Sydney Forrester.
And this is the response and the spark that Missouri offense needed. Runners in scoring position, and it's Sydney Forrester that steps up big with the big fly. This pitch right at the top of the zone, she gets her barrel out in front, and the extension on her swing gets it out in a hurry.
And nice job by Bell to aggressively come forward to pick that up and then able to get the tag on. That was really their only chance with the speed of Sanaya Hill. Like the idea, though, kind of after the home run and all the fireworks of that, looking for the element of surprise.
I was just about to say, Josh, and Tiana Bell was playing back, bag high, and after a home run like that, if that bunt would have been a little bit softer off the bat, I think that's a base hit.
First pitch here is for Madison Updegrove.
And man, Josh, if you're Coach Anderson right now, you're pretty proud of their response from this team, and we talked about it an inning ago. When it comes to defensive plays, that can be a momentum shifter. Last inning, bottom of the third, that throw by Langer out in center field brought some momentum back in this Missouri dugout.
Sydney Forrester's 10th homer of the year, putting Missouri up 3-1. Look out. Marissa Anderson hit the deck. Hey, she was ready for it.
She was ready for it. She got out of the way, had to take a moment. She played that one out nice. I mean, this is a shot off the bat. I'm glad that she got out of the way, Josh. That's tough.
Ball well hit here, but into the glove of Brinley Bain, or Kaylee Wyckoff, rather, who had moved over to right this inning. Yeah, when you've already started the motion to the ground, it's better to just go ahead and, like, roll with it.
No, I'm glad that she did. That ball was hit right at her. The adjustment from Missouri's offense, I mean, they saw Peyton Burnham on Friday, but coming out, attacking early in the count, that is a difference maker.
Gracie Britton pinch hitting here. This ball well hit, but Wyckoff there in right field makes the catch. Side retired, but not before. Sydney Forrester with a big swing, her 10th homer of the year to put the Tigers up 3-1. Three to 1, Missouri moving in front of Arkansas thanks to a 3-run homer from Sydney Forrester, 10th of the year. And with as dominant as Peyton Burnham was against Missouri earlier in this series, Sydney, you had to appreciate the aggressiveness of the Tiger hitters. I mean, every one that Burnham faced, all 5 batters took a swing at either the first or second pitch.
No, absolutely. I mean, they made that offensive adjustment, and outside of the home run, I mean, the balls that were lined out to right field, I mean, just hit so hard, such solid contact.
Sierra Harrison came out of the bullpen for Missouri last inning.
And that's what this game is all about, is how quickly can you make adjustments from game to game, at bat to at bat. And you could see it right there from Missouri's offense that they had a plan at the plate. And with those swings, they executed that plan.
Miller skies this up to right field. Danielle Blackston, who had come into the ball game, makes the catch out there in right. Cam Harrison had an infield single first time up. But you go back to the great defense, though, that Missouri played in each of the last 2 innings to keep it at just a 1-run ball game. I mean, if that's almost anybody else in the country, they're not making as many plays as Missouri did to keep it at a one-run game.
No, absolutely. The defense has been perfect from Missouri's end, and I even go to the one hit by Ella McDowell. Wasn't a hit, but a shot at Sophie Smith at second base, and she kept that to the infield. That could have easily gotten the right center field gap. Defense has been key for Missouri, keeping Arkansas at bay.
Arkansas sitting on 39 wins. And the swing and the miss. Sierra Harrison notching her first strikeout of this outing, and it's 2 away here in the 4th.
And I mean, that off-speed pitch right there has to have about a 10-mile-an-hour difference, just living on the outside part of the plate against Cam Harrison. Harrison, with that off-speed pitch right there, gets a huge strikeout. I mean, she is dealing, Josh. And one thing going in the weekend, Coach Larissa Anderson talked about is leadership and starting behind the plate with Abrascato. And we saw right after that big K from Sierra Harrison. She came out from behind the plate, was pumping her up.
Well, they're talking things over here about how they want to approach Reagan Johnson, just as they did last time. And they'll play it differently now. It's the left fielder, Sanaya Hill, who's going to come in and play at second base.
And for Missouri, they have been playing with this defensive shift and the 5th infielder the entire weekend. When Reagan Johnson is up at the plate, a little bit of a difference here. Sanaya Hill coming over to the right side of the field. They're just eliminating that 5-6 hole, Josh, that Reagan Johnson just pounds. Adding that extra defensive player on the left side of the field eliminates her hitting the ball through the 5-6 hole. She doesn't necessarily pull a lot of balls to the right side of the field. I mean, that is due to being a slapper, but also being pitched on the outer part of the plate. When you get into defensive shift like this, you can bet Sierra Harrison's going to be attacking that outer part of the plate to get her to hit into the shift.
Yeah, it's one of those where you better not miss inside, because if you do, it could be an inside the park home run.
And that's the thing, is Reagan Johnson has the ability to power slap. She utilizes it and has a lot more this season. And she can get around the pitch and pull it. We've seen her do it here at Bogle Park. And yesterday, even with the shift, she was on base 4 for 4. 2 walks, 2 hits.
Right back to the pitcher. Quick reaction from Sierra Harrison. And it's a 1-2-3, bottom of the 4th inning. Missouri leading Arkansas 3-1. Josh Haley and Sydney Parlee back with you from Bogle Park as we move into the 5th inning. Well, yesterday Missouri had a 1-0 lead. Sydney in the 5th inning. Not able to make that stick, but a little bit different scenario today as they've come from behind. Forced Arkansas to the bullpen last inning. But Peyton Burnham was greeted with a 3-run home run. Addie Waits takes ball 1 upstairs.
No, and as the game has progressed, Josh, within Missouri's at-bats, especially when Sailor Timmerman was in the circle, they started to take a lot more pitches. Also were attacking on the other side of the coin earlier in the count.
Rio able to stop it, but has no play. That was scorched off the bat. And they've hit Peyton Burnham hard, even on the ones that she got outs on last inning.
No, they are attacking early in the count and are having such short and hard contact to the ball. And for Addie Waits hitting inside out, I mean, Natalia Rio just not able to keep a handle on the ball because it's hit so firmly. Yeah, Josh, but they forced to go to the bullpen with Sailor Timmerman. We saw in the last inning of her work, started to lose the ball a little bit more out of the strike zone. Missouri wasn't biting on those pitches that were away.
This one softly popped up to Rio. That is a huge out, though, for Peyton Burnham to get Abby Carr, who had been so good in this series, and to keep the runner at first base. That did get scored as a hit, by the way, for Addie Waits. Rightfully so, with how hard it was hit. Arbriscato fouling that off. She got hit with a pitch to lead off the 4th inning, and that's what got things started for Mizzou. In there for a strike. Grounded to the right side. Davison to second for 1. Rio to first. Double play. As good as you'll see anywhere. 4-6-3 on the twin killing.
In Arkansas, going into the weekend, top 10 nationally in double play turns, and just so smooth from Carly Davison and Natalia Rio.
Well, the NFCA National Freshman of the Year top 25 list released as the regular season comes winding down. The best freshmen in the country, and no surprise to see those two on the list.
Not at all, Josh. And for Brinley Bain, I mean, entering the weekend leading all Division I freshmen with on-base percentage at the 547 mark. Just her consistency and composure at the plate, and she's doing it while also being, for majority of the season, the designated hitter, and that's hard to do in itself. And Friday, coming off of that game, just increased her reach base streak, to 10 games.
This one lifted up to left field. Sanaya Hill there to make the catch.
Talking about Brinley Bain, Coach Deifel talked about earlier in the season that she has so perfectly fit in with the Arkansas culture because she is a hard worker and in her mind has been the hardest worker she has coached within this program. So when you've got, when you've got someone that works that hard and then is able to go out on the field and put together offensive production like that, it's a lot to be said about who she is as a person as well.
Boy, Ella McDowell really leaned back and got her money's worth there.
Ellen McDowell has been on it. Her first at bat with that RBI double and even the loud out shot hit to second base by Sophie Smith.
McDowell with a hit and an RBI in all 3 games of this series. A double in the first inning, her first extra base hit of the series.
Crowd not too pleased by that pitch, but I'll tell you, that off-speed pitch on the corner of the plate has been Harrison's bread and butter. And Stephanie Abriscato behind the plate, the way that she gets low within her stance and frames those pitches, she puts in some work behind the dish, Josh.
That was one thing Larissa Anderson was talking about in a press conference this week. She gets the strikeout. Second strikeout rather of this relief outing for Sierra Harrison, but let's take another look at this pitch.
For Sierra Harrison, I mean, just so crisp on the outer part of the plate. Ella McDowell not able to get her barrel to it in time. That had some high velo on that pitch.
But Coach Anderson was saying, you know, when she gets that low, certainly it gives the umpires a better look, but said, you know, maybe some umpires might not be used to that, kind of in relativity to the question of, like, some strike calls maybe not being there that they thought should have been there at times. So she said, I don't know, we need to maybe look at it and see if it's affecting it in that regard. But those are the kinds of things that just how deep you can get into conversation with Coach Anderson about. An educator of the game. They retire Bell, and it's another 1-2-3 inning for Sierra Harrison. Missouri in front 3-1. You look at what's gone on through these first 5 innings. The big 3-run home run from Sydney Forrester. Right now the difference in the ball game. And Marissa McCann, you know, she was kind of bend but don't break, if you will, but a lot of toughness in the circle. The Razorbacks forced her to throw 66 pitches in less than 3 innings. So she was tough in hanging in there and limiting the Hogs and kind of keeping things close.
Yeah, and even with that high pitch count, Josh, I mean, she got the job done. And Sierra Harrison, since coming in relief, has been nails. Her pitching has been very precise, just painting the corners of the plate, both outside and inside against Arkansas, keeping them off balance.
Dowell able to charge up and make the play there to retire Hay. Here's Forrester again. Larissa Anderson praised her. Said that, you know, just a freshman, but she's got some natural leadership qualities. And that's something that they talk about as well is, you know, just because somebody might not be the most vocal person, they could have those leadership qualities and they want to empower them, let them know that even for a freshman, hey, it's okay to be a leader and be boisterous.
No, and that's a great position to be in. I mean, as she continues to progress throughout this Missouri program, I mean, to have a freshman do what she's done out on the field, but to develop into that leadership role, and the hope is that she continues to be a leader year after year. And I'd have to say her time prior to Missouri and what she did both in high school and travel ball wise with the Aces, I mean, she just stepped into the program and kept the pace rolling.
2 hopper to short. Rio loads up.
Gosh, Josh, I mean, for Italia Rio, that right there maybe looked effortless and pretty seamless, but that is a tough play. Backtracking a little bit more in the 5-6 hole and firing off of that back leg. I mean, just the cannon that she has from shortstop to power through and to power the ball over to first base.
How about that at bat for Sanaya Hill back in the 2nd inning after fouling one off her face mask the very next pitch off the top of the wall in left field for her 2nd double of the series.
Yeah, and offensively, I mean, when something like that happens, it maybe adds a little bit more of that grittiness to the at-bat. And I think sometimes even subconsciously as a pitcher, when you see something like that happen, more times than not, you get it a little bit more over the heart of the plate. And just another quality at bat by Sanaya Hill. I mean, really settling in offensively.
Tell you what, these 2 underclassmen hitting back-to-back in the lineup really seem to be finding a rhythm here, as Sanaya Hill is 4 for her last 6 at the plate. Big league pop-up behind second base. Davison there to make the catch. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 left in the top of the 6th. Mizzou leading 6th ranked Arkansas 3-1. we go to the bottom of the 6th inning, and associate head coach DJ Gasso, he huddled the entire team up outside of the dugout. And it was a very serious conversation, but I think the message probably is, we've got to stick to our plan of attack at the plate, and somebody's going to have to do something to break up this rhythm that Sierra Harrison is in out there on the circle.
No, and you're right. And DJ Gasso, he's got that passion on the coaching staff that gets the girls fired up. And, you know, to me, the conversation with facing Sierra Harrison right now and what their approach needs to be offensively is they've got to attack one side of the plate. I mean, she's healthily balancing, throwing it on the outside and inside corner, and we really don't see Arkansas being challenged with velo a lot, but her velocity right now and the way that she's placing her pitches, Arkansas timing-wise has got to get back on track. And it's gonna be who's gonna step up and who's gonna flip the script and stick to the approach and the plan.
Rio, the last batter now to face Harrison, as this is popped up. Handled down the left field line. Lenny Ramsey just came into the game. But you come into the game, the ball will find you. Ramsey up to the challenge.
And, you know, for Sierra Harrison, I mean, what a response. And yesterday, she pitched a great game, but adjusting to Arkansas's approach and changing her plan as she faces them for the second time this weekend just shows what a veteran she is in the circle and the success that she has had for this Missouri program and continues to have. Just a complete competitor, Josh.
Indeed. Wyckoff sends one towards the gap, and running catch made. What a play by Lenny Ramsey.
I mean, Missouri can create a defensive reel from the plays that have been made today, and Lenny Ramsey just coming in off the bench. 2 back-to-back plays, but this one right here, she is shaded in left field, and the amount of ground that she covers and the extension on that catch. Huge play, Josh, right there. If that gets past her, that's a double for Wyckoff all day. And as a hitter, that's the type of play that you just have to tip your hat and applaud him.
Carly Davison gets a gift.
Since coming in relief, that hit right there by Wyckoff, excuse me, not a hit, but ball put in play. I mean, that's the only hard contact that Sierra Harrison has had.
Knocked through the left side.
And that swing right there by Kennedy Miller is the Miller special. Driving it through the 5-6 hole. She hits a high percentage of balls to that left part of the field. And she, too, has been someone that has connected with that first base bag, consistently coming off of Friday night's game, increased her reach base streak by 14 games. That's one thing about Arkansas's offense, Josh, is 1 through 9, even the bottom of the lineup. You know, typically that could be a position where you may question a little bit, but 1 through 9, I mean, just so solid. The offensive production top to bottom, it's what makes them so tough to compete against.
pinch runner is Jaden Wells, and then Ashton Reichard here pinch hitting for Cam Harrison. Lofted towards shallow left center. Up to Grove, no problems getting it. Some more good defense for Mizzou. And Sierra Harrison holding the Hogs bats quiet. 3-1 lead for Mizzou going to the 7th. Well, this crowd enjoying a beautiful afternoon at the ballpark. Razorbacks going for a series sweep, and Missouri literally fighting for their postseason lives. Felt like a must-win coming in. They've played Sydney like it's a must-win situation so far today.
And that they have, and it has been an all-out effort. I mean, they have laid it out between the two lines. Just the plays that have been made defensively, Josh. I mean, it's like you sit and you just think, wow. In the circle, Sierra Harrison has come in and has just been perfect. And offensively, with the big 3-run home run by Sydney Forster stepping up in a clutch moment, can't ask for much more than that, and definitely a game that they can build on. The momentum going into their last series against Tennessee.
Ashton Reichard's in right field now for the Razorbacks.
One thing going into this weekend, Larissa Anderson talked about is just wanting to see her team fight for every pitch, fight for every play, and not live on the game of hope. And today, there's not been any hope in their at-bats or the way that they have played defensively. They have fought pitch to pitch.
Kyler Del Duke is in left field now as well.
We have seen a lot of shifting amongst both teams today, defensively, pinch hitting situations. But you have to say that's a good testament to the depth that they have on their bench to be able to plug in players at different times.
This one hit well to right field, and Reichard is there. Both teams have used 6 different players in the outfield this afternoon. Here's one of them in Kaylee Linger. Squaring to bunt and fouled it off. Slow roller, tough play for McDowell. Not in time. The speed of Kaylee Linger prevailing.
And at the end of the day, Josh, that goes down in the books as a hit. Ella McDowell playing back high. She gets around this pitch and just right on top of it, driving it to the ground. And so much speed down the first baseline.
Fouled down, or it came into play. It'll be a massive series for both of these teams to close out the regular season. The Razorbacks will go to Texas next weekend, while Mizzou will host Tennessee. This Tigers team, with a win today, would move back to 500 with 4 games remaining, all of them on their home field. There's Robin Heron. Kind of know, though, you know, in these SEC series that it's all hands on deck pretty much at all times. And she got her to chase one upstairs. Good pitch from Burnham.
No, and you're exactly right, Josh. I mean, just with the pressure, the adversity faced, and for Peyton Burnham getting a K on the day, adding to that strikeout total, this pitch is up and out away from Addie Waits. But to go off of that thought, Josh, I mean, when you're playing an SEC play, and especially the way that we have seen offensive production just across the board evolve and progress, I mean, we're seeing pitching staffs having to use all arms, you know, throughout the course of the weekend. Not so much of just you have that one pitcher that, I mean, Peyton Burnham did on Friday, but go a complete game. It is absolutely all hands on deck. And the versatility of these pitchers, having the ability to start games, come in relief.
And to officially re-enter Abby Carr there, as they had moved Hayden Sokolowski into right field in the 6th inning.
Making you really work, and me too, on our scoring books. We won't mind it, though.
I don't know if I'm going to run out of lead first or space in the scorebook. Something's got to give. If we go to extra innings, forget about it. Called strike 3. No need to complete the throw with the first base occupied, and Burnham gets back-to-back strikeouts. Razorbacks down 2. Last chance. Arkansas got on the board early, but have been held quiet ever since. And then a 3-run bomb for Mizzou in the 4th inning from the freshman Sydney Forrester. And that, your difference in the ball game right now. What an outing out of the bullpen so far, Sydney, for Sierra Harrison.
Yeah, and Sierra Harrison has been lights out in the circle, and it really hasn't been the changes of speed versus the Arkansas hitters. It's just been her effectiveness with her drop ball, curve, and screw on both corners of the plate.
In there for a strike. Sydney Forrester, the right fielder, again into play at first base, and they shift Hay over to second.
Yesterday, Reagan Johnson, she beat the shift 2 times, but today,
I think they lost it on the exchange there. Lenny Ramsey had it, and then as she brought her glove down to bring her throwing hand to the ball, then that's when she lost it. It was the right call.
And this pop-up by Reagan Johnson, and that's one thing Sierra Harrison has done, is issued a lot of fly ball outs. You can see right there that she secures it with the catch. It's on the transfer. She throws it in. That is a huge statement, getting Reagan Johnson out, who is the table setter of Arkansas's offense.
Abrascato behind the plate. We're going to feel the sting for a while there, but always good to see a smile after a play like that.
And she has been gritty behind the plate today, has been a leader behind the dish. Seen her quite a few times coming out, talking to her defense, burying the ball when it's been thrown in the ground.
Look out.
Gracious between Coach Anderson over at third base, Coach Matt Michael.
Nearly going yard in that first inning, but would come around to score anyway. Ella McDowell followed with a double. Nothing since for the Razorbacks, although they've been close, as this one flied into straightaway center. And there's 2 away. Tigers just 1 out away from picking up the win here, and Ella McDowell standing in their way. Fouled back. So between yesterday's outing and then what she's done so far today, I mean, you're talking about for Harrison 8 2/3 against one of the most dangerous lineups in America, and has held them to just 2 earned runs.
And that she has, Josh, and I mean, even the slight adjustment between her pitching plan from yesterday to today and the way that she has attacked Arkansas, I mean, she has been nails. That's why she's the ace of this pitching staff and the go-to in these high leverage situations and games. A complete competitor, and she just has been lights out.
Razorbacks down to their final strike. Hard chopper gets through, and Ella McDowell keeps the Razorbacks alive.
And the consistency of Ella McDowell, and especially today, even with the balls that she's put in play and has gotten out on, I mean, right there, she just has stayed the course throughout her at-bats, and with 2 outs on the board, you talked about it earlier, Josh, they find a way to get on base. And if you're Arkansas right here, with it being a 3-1 ball game, this is who you want up at the plate. Tiana Bell, she's been having a big bat here recently with some big flies.
Yeah, you've got to be ultra careful here, just because knowing that she could tie the game with one swing of the bat. Up and away, 1-1. Swing and a miss, 1-2, and again, Razorbacks down to their final strike. Bell's eye has been really good at the plate today.
Yeah, she's laid off the pitches that are missing by about a ball and a half, even being down the count. For Sierra Harrison just sticking to her plan.
Got her swinging. Sierra Harrison, dominant performance in relief. And Missouri picks up the win in Game 3. Impressive performance all the way around from this Tigers team today.
You have got to tip your hat to Sierra Harrison. The dominance that she had in the circle today led to the victory of Missouri, and the defense back behind her allowed her to pitch freely, Josh. And offensively, Sydney Forster stepping up with that big fly. This is the momentum that Missouri needs leading into their final weekend of SEC play.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right there. 4 games remaining for the Tigers, all of them at home. And as they try to fight their way into the postseason, 6th-ranked Arkansas wins the series. And they'll go into the final weekends at Texas. A great game on a Sunday afternoon. Glad you could join us for this one. For our entire crew and for Sydney Parlee, Josh Haley saying so long from Bogle Park.